All right, good day, guys. How are we all doing? Hope we all good. So today it's actually not a trading day for me, but I'm just going to be on charts, mark out a few potential setups which could happen, but I'm not physically executing the trades. It's actually my day of charts. I will be back executing probably tomorrow. So let's see what's happening. We're gonna start off with gold. All right, so gold on the weekly, we've been strong bullish. I would say I'm anticipating price to sort of interact with the 13 EMA, especially after this huge push up. So after seeing this week from last week, we tapped into a few points of interest, which will be visible from the daily or H4. I'm still looking forward for a potential sell back into the 13 EMA, which is a dynamic support. So from the weekly, I would say that's my view. Then on the daily, you will see we've got this zone which was tapped into a couple of days ago. And we've got this visible liquidity sweep which took out the buy side liquidity here, tapping into this imbalance as well. And currently price is in between a dynamic resistance and a dynamic support. So potentially, like I said, price can still push to the downside. So with that being said, I would say my bias for now is to look for a short-term sell. If I'm looking for a short-term sell, what am I targeting? I'm most likely targeting uh this level here where there's a 200 EMA on the H4. Again, that's a dynamic support. Also targeting the current lows of this week. Maybe we could break them, we could continue pushing down. I'm also targeting this level here. So I would say, should price give me any reason to sell or any sell pattern, I'll be looking for a sell in anticipation of price to come to any of these areas, especially 40,000, maybe 39.50. For now, I'll say that's my view. So again, we are trading in between a dynamic resistance and a dynamic support, which means if I'm going to sell, I would like to look for sales maybe here, unless maybe the smaller time frames show me something, unless maybe there is momentum, then price might not push as high as that level. So coming to H1, you can see we're breaking the previous day's lows, which are now my current point of interest. Coming to M15 London session is just opened. We've got the M15 ORB. We've got the previous day's low right here. So if we can get this, I can look for a sell. If price can take out the London highs, I can also look for a sell. Um, for now, I'll say those are my main two reasons for sell. Yes, price might push up here. Maybe that could happen, but for now, I'm just leaning on immediate sells. So based on M15, like I said, just mark the ORB here. Smaller time frame. Is there anything we can use? Let's see. All right. So for sales to be immediate, again, I'm looking for price to close below the opening range. Okay, please hold. Okay, all right, sorry about that. So if we get it close below the opening range, we could get immediate sales. But if we come back into the range, we'll just wait again for a breakout. But I think this one needs a bit more patience, maybe a bit more of a retracement, especially on H1. Maybe a second baseline bounce could actually confirm a high probability sell. So we have the first baseline bounce here, right? Then if we get something like this, So I'm looking forward for price to retrace, maybe take out this liquidity, like I said, take out the London highs, then we can sell from there, or any 13 or 50 EMA interaction. That could be a potential sell. So for now, I'll lean on a sell bias and I'll see if I'll be able to get an entry on gold. But like I said, I don't think I'll execute today. It's actually my day off. I'm just doing this session because I had promised to do this live trading session. So going to Nasdaq on the 4 hour, what do we see on Nasdaq? All right, let me just mark these levels. 24,500. Okay, so these are the quarter points which I have on Nasdaq. So what's my bias here? So based on this market structure, I would say there's chances that price can still push up into 25,500. This is based off these liquidity sweeps here and looking at this previous lower high based on this market structure. If price wants to push down, most likely what they will do is they will take out liquidity here, then push down. That's what can most likely happen, right? So before we get up, the price can now do this and do this, which means I can most likely look for a buy right here. We've got price fine. We found support on 24,500, right? We broke structures here. So if we get something like this, I can take a buy. This is probably today. Let's be. I'll potentially look for a buy. So let's see. Just taking a look at the daily as well, we can see a visible liquidity sweep here. So price can still come up to this level potential. But again, we are right on a dynamic resistance. So let's see if we see price break here, then most definitely we'll be pushing up. So maybe it's a good thing I'm not taking trades today. I would love to see how it develops today so that I can have a better trade set up tomorrow. But what I would be looking for is something like this. If it happens during my trading time, I'll take it. Depends with the pattern I see at that particular time. We also have a 1350 cross as you see here, and this zone is in line with this zone, right? So we might get something like this, maybe a W pattern here, then maybe we look for a buy. Most likely that could happen. But now, if price does something like this, so let's say we come down, we come back below 25,000 and we stay below 25,000, then this could happen. Right, so I'm just open to seeing two things happen here. Also knowing that from Monday, this is Monday's high, or rather, this is this week's high. This is this week's lows. So just based on market structure and price action, chances are price can still literally come back up here, like I said. So we'll just see what happens around our point of interest, which is this area here. S&P 500 more or less the same. I just use this as, or rather I use it for SMT divergence. So like you notice, this is Friday's highs, Friday's lows, price is back inside Friday's range. So chances are we can push to Friday's high, but before we get there, we can get a retracement. So where is price going to retrace to? Are we going to retrace to Tuesday's highs to give a zone flip? Are we going to retrace to yesterday's highs? Sorry, not yesterday's highs, but yesterday's level, which is in line with Tuesday's highs. So are we going to retrace here to this area, find support and push up? I would say that's what I'm actually looking for if I'm going to be taking buys. And if there is any form of SMT divergence between Nasdaq and US 30, that will just add confluence to the setup which we are seeing right now. German 40. We've been pushing down since the beginning of the week, so price will most likely retrace into the range. You see, I've got this points of interest right here. We also have the 50 and the 800 EMA, which are dynamic resistance POIs as well. We also have 23,500 in this zone. So already I would say my bias is bullish, right? So if I'm going to be bullish, what am I using as a point of interest? I've got this imbalance or this fair value gap here on the 4 hour. If we come to the daily, or maybe let's just check. Yeah, daily definitely looks like we'll retrace back into the Dayton EMA. So my buying bias is going to remain unless price stays below this fair value gap, which I just showed you guys. So for now, I'll say I'm looking for buys. We also have a possible zone flip here. All right. So chances are we can actually be bullish either from current market price or price will still drop into this level, maybe a new excision before pushing up into this red line or into this 200 EMA or even to higher prices. So let's see what M15 has got. M15 price has been choppy for the whole of Asian session as we see. But again, if we get a nice breakout here, that can be a nice buy. Looking at the opening candle of the London session, I would say this whole area inside here, there's nothing to work with until price breaks out of this level. So if we get price tapping into the H4 points of interest and coming back inside this range, we're going to start buying here. Target this high, we break out, retest, we're going to add buys, and we're just going to look forward for price to continue pushing higher to the points of interest we highlighted. That's a possible scenario which I'm willing to take. I'm only going to start looking for sells if price comes below here, stays below this 4 hour imbalance. That's when I'll start looking for sells, and my target will be on yesterday's lows. If price does that, then I'm looking for this. If price does this, then I'm looking for buys. If we break out immediately right now, you can also look for buys. Chances of me executing these trades are very low today. Like I said, if I do decide to execute, it will be with very low risk, unlike the normal risk which we use every day. So I'm going to leave this on the H1, zoom in, and we are stalking German 40. Okay, gold, you can see we're back in the range, in 15 candle. What are the chances that we can come back up here? Very high, very high. A scalp trade is possible on gold. Oh, I want to check the M1. Scalp trade is possible on gold right now. Let's see. We're just looking for price to come back to the London session open high. So this is the opening range on the M15. So we've got this high and this low. Price came outside. Now we've broken back inside that range. So if we can be able to stay above here and if we can break 40.50, we are most likely going to push to 40.60. That is a trade worth taking. That's a trade worth taking right there. Let me just see. Okay, possible longs on gold right now, guys. Possible longs on gold. I'm actually going to scalp this trade so that I can just show you proof of concept. This is just proof of concept. All right, I've already scalped gold for just under 2% on one of my accounts. I'll show you guys. I'll try to let me quickly send the video now to Telegram so that you guys can see the trade. Then I'm just going to explain the reason I took that buy. Um, okay, I've already scalped. And again, if you're trading gold, let me specify this. This is our buy zone, right? So in this area, we're saying we want to catch a buy move. If I'm trading gold and I can catch 50 points, so that means if price moves from 40.50 to 40.55, for me in my books, that's a successful setup. Anything above this is a bonus. So let's say there's momentum and price continues pushing up. That's just a bonus if I'm still in the trade. But as long as I can be able to catch, whether you call them 50 points or 50 pips on gold, for me, that's my go-to target, right? If I'm trading indices, if I can catch 50 points on it, if it's a retracement move, 50 points is fine. But I usually go for a clean 100 points. So in any trading scenario or trading setup, if I get 100 points, for me, that's a successful trade right there. That's a successful trade. So let me quickly show you the trade. And I took this trade on a prop firm account, quick scalp, because I had already mentioned that I'm not trading, but I only took this trade to show proof of concept that what we teach, if you know your reason to enter, your reason to exit, you will actually get paid. The markets will pay you. So let's quickly go to the trade. Where's my Telegram? All right, so you can see that was the trade running. That was just now is we are doing this Zoom. And you can see that's a 5K prop firm account. It's on phase one, made just above 1% or just below 2%, depending with how you view it, which is still a success. 1% still a success. So target is 8%, which means on some days we're going to get 2%, on some days we're going to get 1%. But since today is a no trading day for me and I just executed to show proof of concept, I'm just happy to take this. So this trade is already closed, and probably if price is going to push um if price is going to push up to this level, then maybe that was going to be 2%. But because I know it's a scalp trade, and again, let me put this out there. You notice I had placed no stop loss or TP because I'm actively on the trade. If your trade moves halfway towards your target, you always want to scale out. These are just mentorship notes which I'm throwing in there. You want to scale out, uh, close half, leave half, move your stop loss from wherever it is to break even. So if you can identify a nameable candle, in this case, we've got this nice doji here. If you can identify a nameable candle, your stop loss goes below the nameable candle. Our entry was somewhere here, and we were targeting this level here. We got halfway to the target, and I already closed because I'm happy with that 1% or with that 1.5% which I took. So again, if price gets to this level, it's either you scaling out, moving your stop loss to break even, which means this trade would have taken you out here. If you let this trade run, two or three things can happen. Price can still come, tape you out, maybe go against you, which means you would have missed out on half the profits which you once had. Right. So if you're setting and forgetting, then this trade would be a loss. That's part of the game. It happens. It happens. Second thing which can happen is price will just play around our entry point, then it will still push towards the TP. That can also happen. That can also happen. So as you are trading, you want to familiarize yourself with all the possible scenarios which a setup can bring. Our reasoning to take this trade, if you understand the ORB or opening range candle theory or strategy, you mark the first 15-minute candle, you mark the high, you mark the low. That's my reasoning for entering this trade. If you look to our left, we had the Asian low right here as well. So this push came and took out liquidity below that low, right? Sorry about that. This price came to that low, so that's a liquidity sweep. Price now comes back inside that range, that opening range. So chances or probability is price will push back up here. We don't know what it will do after that. It might continue pushing up or it might push up, then come down. That could happen. But chances are, or rather 70 to 80% of the time, price will come back to this high. All right. This is valid also if you see a setup like this. You've got a high, you've got a low, maybe it's on the 4-hour time frame. Then price takes out comes or breaks out, then comes back into the range, chances are this pattern is going to play out within the range until it gets to the top again. So this could be an H4 pattern, it could be an M1 pattern. As long as you understand what price is doing, then you can use that to come up with your trades or come up with your setups. You can back test it to see if it's true or not. So coming to this setup, based on that bias which I had, I just decided to come to the smallest time frame, which allows me for an entry. So the 3 minutes, you can already see price was almost a third. So I decided to come to the 1 minute because I already know what's going on with the price. So I decided to take my buy right there. Although I have to admit it was a bit late, I would have preferred to take maybe a breakout here if I was looking at it as it was forming. Then I would have caught more pips. Nameable candle now would have been this pin bar with my stop loss here, my entry here, 1:1, 1:2. That would still have been a successful trade even before price got to this high. So with this particular setup, I ended up entering here, closed off here, and price just retraced and it's sort of consolidating. So still, we can still push up here. That can still happen. So as we finish analysis on these items, we are going to come back just to check how it's eventually ended up playing out. So US 30, we got an ID 50 coming into this week. This is the 4-hour chart. You can see I had this point of interest where price is sort of respecting. Should I get a reason to buy here? I'm looking for longs coming back to this level here. I've got a level where price did not retest. So we can potentially get longs on US 30 being a retracement back into the range. Should we come below that point of interest again, like this, then I'll look for sales. But right now, since we've respected a point of interest from a couple of days ago, a nice pattern here. Chances are price can retrace up into Tuesday's highs. We might break retest and continue coming up into the zone. You can see we have an order block here, which was not really retested, or you can call it a supply zone. So price can still come up there before they sell. That's also possible. If we do break, I'll be looking for buys. But at current market price, if I get any reason to take buys here, I would love to take longs. Just that today, I don't think I will not take any trade. I'm already done. So that will be my view on US 30. GJ, we had a buy motion or a buy setup from yesterday. Pushed up. So what could happen today? Let's see. We've taken out some liquidity from the previous month. Still strongly bullish from what I'm seeing, so I wouldn't want to go against the trend for now. So where can I buy from? If price comes back to today's open price, somewhere in this area and respects that area, I'll look for a buy. I think that's all for GJ. Then EU is bearish. GU is also bearish based on the daily charts. If they can retrace up a bit, I'll be looking for sales. So I think that's all from me today, guys. There goes gold. I think it will definitely hit 40.62, 40.63 area. Depending with the time you watch this, I want you to check gold and just type if it has hit 40.62, just type in the comment section 40.62. Today is the 20th of November 2025. We were doing a live trading session, London live trading session at London Open, which is our kill zone. So our kill zones are usually 3 hours if we are trading London session. And if we are trading New York session, it's 2.5 hours. Let me just show you from the M15. Right, it's 2.5 hours of trading New York session. Then if you're trading the New York PM session, it's 2 hours. So you just pick a session. If you're a day trader, pick a session you trade, understand what price is doing. And then if you get a pattern or something which you identify with, don't hesitate to take the trade. If you watched until the end, enjoy the rest of your uh day, your week. I appreciate you for watching this long. And if this video was helpful in any way, let me know. If there's things you want me to speak on our next live trading sessions, please do let me know. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading.